The moonlight shimmered on the surface of the river, casting a silvery glow that danced with the ripples. It had been weeks since the incident at the haunted mansion, and I thought I could finally put that nightmare behind me. The tranquility of the riverside was meant to be my refuge, a place where I could find solace in the gentle lap of the water against the rocks. I had decided to go for a jog again, hoping the familiar rhythm of my footsteps would help me regain a sense of normalcy. The riverbank was always a serene spot during the day, and I thought a midnight run along its peaceful shores would be the perfect way to conquer my lingering fear. The air was cool and crisp, carrying the scent of damp earth and fallen leaves. I took a deep breath, trying to shake off the unease that still clung to me. The soft rustling of the trees and the distant chirping of crickets formed a soothing symphony that should have put me at ease. Yet I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. My footsteps echoed along the riverside path, the sound strangely hollow in the stillness of the night. The moon, now higher in the sky, cast long shadows that danced along the riverbank. As I jogged, I couldn't help but glance over my shoulder, half expecting to see the hooded figures from that cursed mansion pursuing me. But there was nothing there, only the winding river and the dense woods that lined its edge. I chided myself for being so paranoid, for allowing fear to control me. I quickened my pace, determined to leave the past behind. As I approached a small footbridge that spanned the river, I noticed a faint, ghostly light dancing in the distance. It flickered and shimmered like a will-o'-the-wisp, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. I couldn't resist the urge to investigate, my curiosity overpowering my caution. I crossed the footbridge and followed the ethereal light deeper into the woods. The river's gentle murmur became a distant whisper, and the forest seemed to close in around me. The ghostly light led me through a maze of gnarled trees and overgrown underbrush until I stumbled upon a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient, gnarled oak tree, its branches reaching out like twisted fingers. At the base of the tree, the ghostly light coalesced into a glowing orb, hovering just above the ground. It was mesmerizing, its soft, otherworldly glow drawing me closer. I reached out to touch the orb, my fingers tingling with anticipation. But, as soon as I made contact, a jolt of electricity shot through my body, and I was thrown backward. Pain surged through every nerve, and I lay on the ground, gasping for breath. The glowing orb pulsed with an eerie energy, its light growing brighter and more malevolent. It seemed to take on a sinister form, a twisted face leering at me from within its luminous depths. Panic washed over me as I realized I had stumbled upon something far more sinister than I could have imagined. I scrambled to my feet and turned to flee, but the path I had followed had disappeared. The forest around me had transformed into a nightmarish labyrinth, its trees closing in like a living cage. I was trapped, and the glowing orb was closing in. I ran in blind terror, my heart pounding in my chest, but the orb pursued me relentlessly. It seemed to draw energy from my fear, growing stronger with each passing moment. I could hear its sinister laughter echoing in my mind. Just when I thought I was doomed, I stumbled upon a small hidden cave. It was my only chance. I dove inside, hoping to find sanctuary from the malevolent force that pursued me. The cave was dark, but I pressed on, deeper into its depths. As I ventured further into the cave, I realized it was not a natural formation. Strange symbols covered the walls, and an oppressive feeling of dread hung in the air. I had stumbled upon something ancient, something forbidden. Suddenly, the glowing orb appeared at the cave's entrance, its light seeping through the cracks in the rocks. It was almost upon me. Desperation washed over me as I searched for a way out, but the cave seemed to stretch on forever. I could feel the orb's malevolence closing in, its sinister presence overwhelming my senses. I was trapped in a nightmare of my own making, a darkness that had followed me from the haunted mansion to the riverside. And as the glowing orb drew closer, its twisted face leering at me from within its luminous depths, I knew that some terrors were not meant to be escaped. Some horrors were meant to consume us whole, and some paths were destined to lead us to our doom.